My name is David Clarke. I was born in 1949. The place of my birth was Oldham at Boundary Park General Hospital in Lancashire on the 16th of February 1949 at 9:50 a.m. My mother's maiden name was Elsie Dyson Ormrod, who married my father Thomas George Clarke from Islington in London sometime after the war. They were both proud to be British. He was in the army and my mum was in the Royal Air Force, and she was posted to work at Ringway Airport near Manchester. She informed me that the hospital where I was born was next to Oldham Athletic Football Club. We lived in my granddad's house, that is my mother's father's home, at 26 Fleet Street, Clarksfield, Oldham. My granddad's name was Watts Ormrod, and he was a retired craftsman and a senior member of a trades union. He had white hair, which I am told happened due to an accident at work when a rivet was pushed through his hand. I have an older brother, born on the 27th of September 1946. That is, he is 2 years older than me. His name is Michael John, spelt Micheal instead of Michael, due to my mother's stubbornness when she was naming him at the registrar's office. The official informed her that the way she had spelt Michael was in fact wrong, and my mum reacted by being corrected and insisted it would be spelt just as she'd written it. He attended Clarksfield Infant School, and here he is on the bottom row. Note his watch he is showing off. I also attended Clarksfield Infant School 2 years later. I was christened at Christ Church, Glodwick, and my godfather was David Maltby of 382 Barton Road, Stratford, and he was a sidesman at the church on Barton Road. He gave me at that time a Bible with a text of script written on inside the cover, Proverbs 3:6. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. I found a baptism certificate dated the 3rd of April 1949. Here it states, I became a member of Christ, the child of God, and an inheritor of the kingdom of heaven. This, however, is wrong, as I did not become a member of Christ until I was born again on the 16th of February 1970, which I speak about later. I remember attending St Barnabas' Sunday School at Christ Church, which was just along the road from our house in Fleet Street. On one occasion, I was so cosy sitting in the pew, I fell asleep and woke up with a jolt, wondering where I was, just as the preacher had finished his sermon. I had been lulled to sleep by the stimulating soporific sermon. I haven't changed even today. I must have been about 3 or 4 years old. It was my mother's idea to take my brother and I to Sunday school. At Sunday school, I remember we painted pictures of houses, and I still remember wondering why the teacher drew the house with a door in the middle of the building and windows either side of the door. This was because I knew that we lived in a terrace house, and our door was on one side, just like the other houses in the street. I had no spiritual impressions of the Lord Jesus Christ from those times. Just across the street from our house was the Roman Catholic Church building and living accommodation surrounded by a high wall. It was built of red engineering bricks and several stories high with stained glass windows along the church building. I remember looking up at the crooked lightning conductor, and I still get the feeling of austerity and awkwardness when wondering what was behind that wall. It produced the same feeling to me that I had when the story of Toby Twirl was read to me. In that story, he meets a giant who lived behind a great high-walled castle. I was afraid to go near or even think of climbing the wall or trespass in the grounds of that Roman Catholic Church building. I didn't know it was a Roman Catholic church building until 25 years later, when my mother informed me. At that time, I knew of no other religion than that of the Church of England. I assumed my mother was right in all these matters, and so the Catholics were wrong.